Please stand. Bow with me, please. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessings that you bestowed on us and the good health that you give us. We thank you, Lord, that we can gather here again tonight and try to do our best to serve our city in the capacity that you have placed us in tonight. We ask you, Lord, to be with all of our council members, that give them a peaceful mind and assurance that the votes that they cast for our future tonight are what is best and in your will. We ask you, Lord, to be with the Bandy family tonight as they're going through a loss, and we just ask you to comfort them and be with them and take care of them. Lord, we just ask you to be with our firefighters and our police officers and EMS personnel and all of our other city workers and public works, Lord. Just take care of them as they go about doing their jobs each day. And we just want to give you the glory and the honor and the grace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Miranda, if you will call the roll for us, please.
David Lee.
Here.
Michelle Carpenter. Here. Ricky Klein.
Present.
Brian Smalley.
Here.
Caleb Savitsky.
Here.
Everyone is present, so let the record reflect that we have a quorum and the meeting can continue. We will now go to our public comments, and I'm going to ask Kyle to come up and be our first speaker.
Hello, Council. I would just first like to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of your meetings that you have every month to record and to show the public that you care about transparency. I think videoing your meetings shows that. And so, but I would like to honorably step down from the video position. A lot of things going on at where I work now, prioritizing put more opportunity on me, but it's a good thing in the end, but I have regrettably got to step back from other responsibilities that I have. So I want to give you all a lot of leeway time. I hope that's enough time until about June to find somebody. So I'm willing to work with whoever you got next, or if you're somewhere from the school. I don't know if y'all got anybody in mind. I didn't have any recommendations, or else I would have put that in my letter. But willing to work with them to make sure that the transition is smooth, so that way I'll tell them like the tricks that I use, so that way we can keep up the quality that I have. So, and hopefully things run smoothly as we transition. So.
Well, we want to definitely say thank you to the good work that you've done. We've gotten lots of compliments on the videos, and all of it has been good and positive. So from the mayor and the council, we appreciate all of it, and we're gonna miss you, but you're gonna hang around with us until when, June?
June would be nice
if we can find someone sooner, but Kyle has graciously agreed to stay that long and continue. So we will discuss it for work study if we want to bid that out, or if we want to get the old bids out and go that route, or how we want to handle it. So thank you very much.
It was bid to me for $150, just so you know, I think, and there wasn't like a term length that I agreed to, so I wasn't sure if there was a proper way of doing this. So if there's anything legality I need to do or a way I need to do this, let me know, and I'll be glad to.
You handled it fine.
Okay.
Thank
you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris Benson.
I just wanted to take a moment before you make your vote tonight to just thank you this last year as working with and starting this council. I've got the opportunity and to serve this community, meet a lot of new people. It's been a real blessing and a joy. And I think for your facility, this is one of the best and most versatile uses you could have. We can run a lot of different classes. What takes, and what doesn't. You've got more options. Beyond that, we'll also keep the area open so other nonprofits and things can use it for events. But hopefully that will put any of your nerves or anything you might be considering, help put those to rest. If you have any questions from now or as we go forward with this, if we go forward with it, my number is always open. Call me. I'll be happy to talk to you about anything you're concerned about, any changes that need to be made, policies that need to be enacted. One of our best policies that's come out of this was coming from this board with our TBI background checks, and we appreciate your input. So thank you all for the consideration tonight, and however it goes, we'll continue to serve the community and this council.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And I want to say welcome to Westmoreland. He's a new homeowner, so we're glad to have him.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
The next item is to approve the minutes for the January 21st, 2016 regular meetings.
Make a motion to accept as read.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as read. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, next one, we'll do the minutes for the special call meeting from February the 4th, 2016.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as read for February 4th special call meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Let the record reflect that it carries unanimously. I got the cart before the horse, so we'll go back and adopt the agenda now. So any changes that anyone sees that needs to be made on that, or I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept agenda.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Okay, next item will be the financial statement.
Motion to accept.
Go ahead, Brian. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the financial statement. So now we will discuss it. Hearing no discussion, we'll take a vote on that if you'll call the roll.
Ricky Klein.
Yes.
Michelle Carpenter.
Yes.
David Leith.
Yes.
Caleb Zabisky.
Yes.
Brian Smollett.
Yes.
Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. Under old business, we will discuss the Council of the Arts lease.
John Bradley put it right there.
Okay. Go ahead and John, give us a quick synopsis.
This is, what I've done is I just set this up where the Arts Council, or the Council of the Arts, they want to be called, whatever, is responsible for the operating expenses of the building. There's no rent payment to be made. The city has no obligation to provide anything except the space that they're using. It's to be used for public purposes. It's supposed to be used for the arts and music and other related things to benefit the citizens of Westmoreland. And I've got it set up where it's a lease for a year, and it automatically renews for a period of up to 10 years. And if they stop using it for public purposes, the city has the right to terminate the lease. Either party can terminate it on 30 days at the end of it, at the end of the term. Pretty straightforward. They have to have liability insurance, which I know they're already worried about that and been working on that. It's to be a nonprofit entity. It can't be a for-profit. That doesn't mean people can't be paid a salary to work there, but the entity, the Arts Council itself, has to be a nonprofit. And that's the reason the city is willing to give it to them at no rent. And they're responsible for any improvements they make to the building, subject to the approval of the city. I would think the Public Works Department would want to sort of oversee any improvements that they make. Very straightforward, not a whole lot to it, but that's what my understanding of the agreement was. I put the 10 years in there because I thought that was just a reasonable period of time. The one that I'm involved with, another one that was for 25 years with the Senior Citizens Center. And that, funny that 25 years is up next year, but anyway, so 10 years seems like a good period of time. That makes them comfortable to spend money and their effort and work to build up something there that will benefit the community. Any questions?
Okay.
This is the property 1013 Park Street, the property that Mr. Carter donated to the city. Is that correct?
That is
Okay.
correct, for that purpose.
For that purpose. That's what this is. I didn't realize it was on tonight's agenda, but I'm glad I brought a lease.
Well, we didn't know if it would be appropriate for us to vote on it tonight. But
It's-
we
now
just-
it is.
Just got the lease.
No,
or if we,
it's pretty straightforward. I think I told you everything that's in there. It's not.
Okay.
I don't believe in a lot of technical terms and legalese. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Chris, would you like to examine it?
As the CEO of the Council of the Arts, I got to do due diligence. From what he said, it's an amazing offer, but I do need to quickly read over the
Just
fine
read
print, or else I wouldn't
Make
be
sure there's
putting-
nothing in there that conflicts with anything you've got. I mean, the insurance needs to be. I left the insurance to be a reasonable amount. You can work with the mayor on that. I mean, I didn't want to put an amount because in 5 years that amount might not be reasonable.
What we've done right now, we do have a policy, and the policy was written with this lease in mind. And of course, the agent said that because we're just a transient organization right now, that anyways, it's already on our insurance for the use of this property. It's a $2 million policy.
That's more than enough. That's fine.
So that was-
in my opinion. I mean, somebody could disagree, but I think that's certainly adequate
And he's already has the city as the,
Yes, well, we've
as a
covered.
beneficiary. Right.
Yes, sir.
That sounds fine. Does the annual renewal make sense to you? The annual renewal for up to 10 years?
Yes,
That's
that
probably more than you
absolutely-
hoped for.
It does, because we're here to serve the city, and I love this. I love the arts. I think it's going to make a great impact. But as the needs of the city change, they may need to redistribute their property, and we completely understand that. And we want to be a part of growth, not an obstacle to growth. So if we stop becoming productive in the city, and our programs aren't actually getting concrete results, then I want the city to be able to move forward.
There
And
you
at
go.
the same point, we may, God bless us, and we may be able to build a nicer facility. And that's a beautiful building, don't get me wrong, but everybody wants their organization to grow and to prosper, so it would be really great to outgrow the facility one day. So I think that year by
One
year.
step at a time.
Yes, right now I'm just, this is amazing right here, so we're, in just a moment, and I can look over
Okay.
this.
appreciate your work on that, John.
Yes. It also says that any changes that if the Arts Council wants to change or the city wants to change, this board has to approve it and both parties have to sign off on it. So, other than the initial agreement, that's just important to do that.
I'd prefer it that way. It gives us an extra set of checks and balances.
Well, it's a transparency that has to be with a public organization like that.
Absolutely, and we're working on making sure. I love the way you guys have things on video. I want to get more of our documents out onto a website so people can look at our policies and procedures and mimic that same transparency. So I think that's great.
There should be a link to your website on the city's website once you get set up.
All right, that sounds like a good idea. I don't see anything, and we've had several meetings discussing what we were looking for. This is above and beyond what we had anticipated. And I do have the minutes from our last meeting where I was fully empowered to make, we actually made a motion to make sure that if there was any legal necessity to empower me to agree to this lease, that would be met by by that motion. So,
So you can sign it as it is?
yes, I can sign it as it is, and I have a copy of those minutes right here. Unfortunately, I don't have a secondary copy, so I can show you if you need it, but I can also submit a copy in the next few days. If,
The council's minutes will reflect their actions, so you don't need to do
so,
those.
once you guys reflect once you make your decision, if you do decide to ratify it, I'll be happy to sign it today.
Okay. If you would like an opportunity to read that some more, we can go on with other business and then bring you back up at the end if you'd like that.
You know, with the agreement as it stands, I think I've done my fiduciary duty to look over it. Everything is as Mr. Bradley laid out, which I didn't expect it not to be. And as it stands, I'm more than the Westmoreland Council of the Arts would accept it if you were to vote on this particular lease now.
Okay.
So once you make your decision, I'll be happy to come back up and I'll let you guys discuss it further.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion, so we can do a discussion if we need to.
I'll make a motion to accept the agreement.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the agreement for the Council of the Arts lease. Any discussion?
Do we want a council member on it? On the board also?
That was suggested at our work study, and I think if the council would like to pick a person to do that, I'm perfectly agreeable with it.
We have accepted that in our meetings and our bylaws. Well, not necessarily our bylaws, but as a matter of policy, we'll keep a seat on the open for whoever the city appoints to be a board member, and they'll act as a full board member with the same voting rights as any board member. If you decide to change that, you want to make it a revolving, that's completely up to you, but it gives the city a voice, the city council a voice on our board in a permanent way.
And that also would be a liaison with the city council. The person could act as liaison, tell anything the council needs to know. First, you need to vote on the lease, and then you can vote to select someone to serve on the board.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If you'll call for roll.
Michelle Carpenter.
Yes.
David Lee.
Yes.
Caleb Savitsky.
Yes.
Brian Smalling.
Yes.
Ricky Klein.
Yes.
Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. Do you want to, at this time, pick a person to represent the council, or do you want to discuss it at the work study?
You might have a volunteer, I don't know, anybody volunteer?
I want to
Well,
volunteer Michelle.
yeah.
That's what I was gonna do.
Geez, Caleb, thank you.
welcome.
No, I previously served on the board for CODA, and then I stepped down due to conflict of interest, but I would certainly be interested in volunteering for such a position, act as liaison between the city council and CODA.
Okay.
She does carry our personal recommendation because she's so familiar with what we've done in the past and our vision and mission statement. But of course, we would be happy to have the services of any of your council members.
Anyone else want to volunteer to be nominated? Or is this going to be by acclamation? Congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you.
It's rough being new, isn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't mess that one up.
Okay. The next item that we're looking at is, I talked to Mr. Bradley, and his suggestion was for us to do this as a resolution for our interlocal agreement. So because we did the first vote,
We
do
just
we need to
ignore
void
that.
out
We
that, or
we'll just abandon that ordinance and pass this resolution, and it'll be done.
Okay, so.
That way, if you ever need to change it, you only have to have one vote to change it. That's the good thing about doing a resolution.
Okay, very good. So, it is resolution number 022-016-1. Is that right?
Make a motion to accept the resolution.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the resolution and the interlocal agreement. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
David Lee.
Yes.
Caleb Savitsky.
Yes.
Brian Smalling.
Yes.
Ricky Klein.
Yes.
Michelle Carpenter.
Yes.
Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. We'll move to new business, and the first item we have up is Mr. Jack Stafford, who lives at the corner of Fleetwood Drive and Pleasant Grove Road. Mr. Stafford, if you'll come forward, we've met and discussed some items, and I don't know how many rest of you have gone over to see what's happening, but what is going on over at his location there is somewhat atrocious. The road used to be, I'm going to guess, at least 3 feet from where it is now. As people make the turn off of Pleasant Grove Road and onto Fleetwood, coming from the north side, they're just slowly but surely eating up all the corner of his property. He had a survey done, and I went out to observe where the survey markers were, and it's pretty obvious that also where the street used to be in years past, and as where it was paved, and then as it has worn down, we have come in and did patchwork on it, and you can tell where the patchwork is just slowly moving over about a foot at a time. So that probably doesn't bother him as much as the fact that as his grandkids are out in the yard, he's afraid one of them is going to get hit, because when it's the area is right, you can see the tire tracks where they actually go through his yard there. Now, Mr. Stafford purchased or had someone to donate him a 900-pound stone.
I paid for that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rocks are expensive. I'm telling you. Heck,
That has not deterred a lot of the action with one single rock.
no.
So, and I have experienced in the past some of the same things. So, even a 900-pound rock is no match for an automobile or a truck. And when you see one bounce over it, as he explained to me that he'd seen a few times, it's actually somewhat scary.
It's mind blowing.
But anyway, what he is asking tonight is if there's something that we can come up with to help in that area. And as you read on his sheet that he turned in to address the council, he there's a big slope there on Fleetwood Drive, and I think that's just a matter of me asking Adam. But when you hit those streets over there, what's happening? He's backing out of his driveway, and he's just sitting sideways the road on that hill. Can't go up unless he gets swung around and can slide down it. So if we could just make sure we hit that hill well. I know we have lots of hills in Westmoreland, but he did come and address it with us. So if we could do that, that would be real good.
Please.
But with this, back to this rock, that concerns me. And just standing there talking, you could tell that drivers were probably giving me some good words as they drove by, just because of the fact that I was standing where his property line was, and you could tell it was inconvenient for them because they wanted to go through his yard. So I explained to him if we wanted to try to go with a guardrail or something like that, it would probably have to be put in next year's budget. So with the council's approval, I'm going to ask our engineer to look at that, offer suggestions. I'm going to ask Adam to look at it and see if he has some suggestions. And I have some that I'm going to run by him and see what he thinks. But that's what Mr. Stafford wanted to come and discuss with the council tonight.
It is, yes.
And anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, I'll say again, rocks are expensive, and they're tearing that 900-pound rock up. It's a joke, it really is. I didn't know people were that cruel. But we have we have 18-wheelers, school buses, tour buses, farm equipment. They're all right, and trucks with trailers. I mean, it's very, very congested right there, and it's there's a lot of traffic for a small road. And me personally, I do not see how. I just don't see how tour buses and 18-wheelers, those are the two top that just absolutely blows my mind. I don't see how they turn that corner. And customers that send them up through there tell them to go that way. Hello, that's a little bitty street. I mean, that's a small corner. I don't see how they do it, but they do it. But when they do, they take up
The whole
they
road.
take up the whole road plus
Plus your
somebody's yard
Yeah.
also on the other side. So that's all I have to say.
Well, and what concerns me also is the industrial board works to bring more industry in
Mhm.
at the old expo center, but that might compound it. And so we're going to do our best to stay on top of this.
I would deeply appreciate it.
So I will report back to the council. Hopefully we will have something by the work study. And right now, Kelly, if you will put it down, if we need a motion to defer this to the work study because we have it on the agenda to vote on, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to defer it.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to defer this to the work study and then on to the next regular meeting. And I'll be in touch with you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Also, Mr. Farley does codes enforcement, has some ideas also for it that he would like to discuss with you.
Okay.
So,
But I like your idea. He and I were talking about it earlier. I'm telling you, that's the way to go.
What idea is that?
Start up here. Start up here, cause they come down like this, sir. And the road is actually up here. And his idea is to start the guardrail up here where they're starting to come in the yard. I don't.
and like I said, this is just purely
Yeah.
speculation and idea, but that's right where his first tree is at the corner. It comes around, it's about 24 feet. And just starting up there would force people to get over.
They like to start right there where that tree is, sir.
This property line's down here.
Yeah, I drove by the
Street used
other
to be
day,
out here.
so.
You can tell where it's gone. This is a 900-pound rock, and he said he did cars actually
Just
move
kind
it.
of-
Well, the
I
thing
go there a
is,
couple
times a
where
day, sometimes
they're kind of limited in
meet
their
somebody in there,
options
you
of
ain't gotta
how
go.
they can come into the city too. And that's something we need to address.
Biggest deal is we're gonna need
Because-
Adam to tell us where the water lines are, and property lines and everything else, so it would be smart, like Jerry said, to have the engineer involved.
I've had it surveyed, so it's definitely marked. Those are his markings that we're going by.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what does a 900-pound rock cost? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
I thought I was gonna have to use my debit card. It's expensive. I travel all the way to the other side of Portland to get it. I forgot what I paid for it. It's about 2 years ago, and that's what's left of it. It weighed a little
It's,
bit more.
it's been broken down a lot, you can see chips
Yeah,
and scratches.
I saw the
All
little
over.
chunks when I drove by today.
May I say, there's tire marks on it, cause see, they like it's like a child. You give them an inch and they'll take a mile, the old saying goes. Okay, they'll take their tire of their vehicle or their trailer. Well, the trailer, they run over the rock really. But the vehicle itself, they'll take it and they'll move it like if they'll, I'm tongue-tied here, because I'm
Skim it,
the
yeah.
camera and everybody out. This is not me right here. But what they'll do, they'll take their tire
of the vehicle, and they'll move it like 3/8, a quarter of an inch. And you do that 5 or 6 days a week, well, that rock is moving.
They bump
That
it a
rock
little
is
bit.
moving.
You
Seriously.
watch them do this?
Oh,
You ever think about getting the
Man.
tag numbers and having them prosecuted for destruction of private property?
I'm not that bold.
I mean,
I might have to get that bold.
It depends on how fast they're
I
going
have,
too.
I have seriously thought about putting a security camera and getting tags. I really have, and calling.
that's an idea. I mean, that's
Yeah.
private property and they're destroying your private property.
They're wearing it out. I didn't mean to say that, but yes, they are wearing it out.
Okay, well, we'll be in touch with you and let you know what we come up with.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, ma'am.
We appreciate it.
What do I do now? Do I leave?
You can leave if you want.
Okay.
If you'd like to stay
More
for
welcome to stay
the rest
too.
of the meeting, you're welcome to.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Commissioner Taylor, you're up next.
All right.
Come on down.
Well, the normal yearly thing, but I did it coming a little bit earlier this year.
You got passed back twice last year because of snow.
Yeah, just because I learned I need to start earlier last year with the turnout, so, which is a good problem to have. I got enough copies for everybody. I think Mr. Bradley even gets one.
I got one.
There's two
Oh.
pieces.
I checked with TWRA today, and Free Fishing Day in Tennessee is June the 11th this year. It's typically the first Saturday, but they set things differently. It's the first full week, the Saturday of the first full week. So the second Saturday is actually the Free Fishing Day this year. I confirmed that with the TWRA office. So I've been doing it that way because TWRA has been very gracious to step up as a sponsor as well. They last year gave me coloring books and like little bags to put them in, and we put the prize that we gave out when they registered in the little bag. Last year we were able to, I think we spent about $1,700. The biggest expense being the fish. And then I say we because it was the community and the sponsorship of numerous different people from Westmoreland and all over the county actually. They stepped up to sponsor the city, sponsored chamber, different businesses throughout town. I tried to honor them on Facebook and in the paper. Paper was very gracious in running it for like a month in advance. So didn't have really. I don't think we had any problems. Several of y'all came out. I think it brought a lot of people to Westmoreland that day. And I've started going around to the schools towards the end of school, and the principals have been gracious enough to announce it at the schools.
Yeah.
So just here tonight to ask for permission to do it again. So, and answer any questions that anybody has. And I don't think we've ever had an issue, a negative issue. We've run out of bait. Like I said, it was 100 kids last year that registered in, 98 the year before, and the year before that it was like 50 something. So we went almost double in 3 years. And we started out, I think it was about 34. Hard to believe this is the 6th year that we've done it. So, and something else, with your guidance, the TWRA 2 or 3 different times has released fish in the fall when they have some left at the hatchery. No charge to the city. They have some left over. They'll turn them in, and all they have to do then is eat. So, but if y'all would like for me to continue with working with the TWRA, we've went out there with them. I think during this process they've actually built 2 of the piers for handicap, because we had a guy show up in a wheelchair one year, and me and somebody else packed him down to the lake and on the pier, and he fished. So,
I've got a photo here of you handing out some of the prizes last year. I was very impressed by all that you done and the kids and the families that you touched.
oh yeah, it was a family affair that day. I mean, it's so many kids that's the first time they've ever fished. I mean, first fish they've ever caught. You know, they spend what I like to say a day off of that.
Yeah.
Or at least 4 or 5 hours anyway. I mean, you know, it's been positive, and the Andy Rush is one of our local TWRA agents, and he helped me out a whole lot with prizes and the coloring books and different things that I mentioned earlier. But he said that we had more people up here than they had in Gallatin that day. They're able to do sponsorship because we do it on Free Fishing Day. So they put it on their website even. We're on the TWRA's website when Free Fishing Day happens in Tennessee. And what that is there's no license required, because kids over 12, I think, have to have a fishing license. But on that day, nobody does. So,
I tell you, the trails are a little bit better this year too. So
yeah.
that nature trail out there.
Well, it helps too, because those banks were full. I mean,
Yeah.
100 kids with their parents, you're talking 200 to 300 people, so.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the 6th annual Westmoreland Fishing Rodeo.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to allow the 6th annual Westmoreland City Lake Fishing Rodeo. Any discussion?
Do we need to block that off out there?
I would appreciate that, because we have had some problems with that. And we had a problem last year, actually, a couple times. The fish truck will come at 7. I mean, not at 7. They will come on Thursday, typically. That afternoon, I try to get him to come as late as he can. I'll meet him up there. And what I did last year was I just got in touch with the police department and said, hey, the fish are in. But there was actually somebody fishing when we turned the fish in. So I'm like, what do you do? You know? So maybe at dinner on Thursday to 6:30 on Saturday night would help. And I would like to, you see what I call a sawhorse. I can come up with some sawhorses, because the main problem is when you first go in, that little cut to the left to go over to where the picnic tables are, they snuck in there one night and caught a lot of catfish. So if I could put those up,
Okay.
and I know the police, I mean, they patrol, and they tell me that they let people know, you know, we don't want to deter nobody from fishing, but them fish get hungry after they put them in there, and if you catch them all before the kids get a chance to catch them.
Understand.
Make that a part of the motion, that there be no public fishing from that time on Thursday until
Yeah.
except for the rodeo, until the conclusion of the rodeo.
Maybe our paper can run that.
Yeah.
From the 9th at noon till 11th at 6:30.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. And if you'll call and
Noon on the
remind me
ninth.
also.
Yeah, noon.
We'll do all
noon
we
the
can.
9th of June.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Well, let's vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Motion
Thank you,
carries
Mr. Bradley.
unanimous.
You'll put a sign up, Mo, says one poison fish in the lake.
Yeah. There you go.
That used to deter me from watermelon patches.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, you know, there was it was either a 10 or a 13-pound catfish caught one year, and I can't remember if it was I believe it was year before last. So that had been in there a little while. Thank y'all.
Okay.
Thank you, Mo.
Next item on the agenda is the mayor's mileage.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to accept the mayor's mileage. And there's a comment, like I said at the work study, is down somewhat this month because of weather. So, any other discussion? While I'm thinking about it too, I'll let the public know, This is a copy of the 2040 proposal from the Regional Transportation Alliance, and I'm going to leave it laying on the table up here for anyone that wants to come and look at it. The big part of Westmoreland that is proposed in that plan is 4-laning 31E from Gallatin all the way to the Kentucky line. So it will be beneficial for us. It'll be a great asset in helping to attract industry and opening up the this part of the net corridor. So it will definitely be beneficial, and folks that say, "Oh, that's too far away." Well, if you look back at 1990, how far away did that seem at that time till now, or 1989? And it makes you realize how quick it gets here. So, all in favor of the mayor's mileage, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Motion carries unanimously. Is there any business that I have forgotten about that the council needs to bring up? Okay. Ray, do you need to speak?
I've got activity reports to give to the council and say a little something. That'd be okay?
Okay.
This is activity reports from the police department. It's about 3 weeks long that we've done. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is about 3 weeks long, approximately 3 weeks long. This is the activity from the police department. We've got approximately about 208 entries, calls for service. Which, like I said, that's about 3 weeks long, and it's keep in mind you had a lot of snow, a lot of ice within that time. Calls is picking up. We have a lot of calls for service. It's starting to pick up. As you all know, the world is getting crazy. We're getting a lot of. We're doing our best with training. We're trying to pick our training up as much as we possibly can with the department. 2015, we have trained together as a department. Post requires that we do at least 40 hours in service every year. Last year, when we turned ours in, we had way over the amount of time for our officers. We're trying to get all the officers trained on active shooter. We're trying to get them better equipped with the updated laws as far as DUIs and whatnot, domestics. We're now wearing our body cameras. All the officers are wearing that. If there's any type of problems with the officers, or they're required to wear that for any type of service that they go on. We have got our body armor in, so all the officers are wearing their body armor. So we're doing the very, very best that we possibly can. We're trying to do the best as far as keeping our equipment up to date and running the best way we can. For instance, our vehicles, our cars, they're all up and they're running, doing the very best they can. They're getting some age on them. They're getting some wear and tear on them. We're trying to stay on top of it. If you don't have a patrol car, you can't run to a call. So we're doing the very best we can on that. We're trying to keep them clean, neat, in order as best as we possibly can. Only thing is, what I like to bring to y'all's attention is the understand. You know, I know the overtime is getting to be a problem. We have 7 patrol officers that are full time, and the issues that we've got on their days off. You got some that might be training, some that might have to be in court or what have you. Some get sick. We have part time. We have approximately. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 7 part time officers. Out of those 7 part time officers that we have approximately 3 that we have set dates that we can plug in and let them. They will come in and work on certain days for us. A lot of the part-time officers that we have, they're certified officers, but they work with different departments. They work with the county, they work with Portland. If their agency calls them in on a moment's notice, was they're gonna go, they're gonna leave, and then we're kinda stuck. We're stuck high and dry, so somebody is gonna come in and fill that shift. It's not safe, really, to have one officer out there by himself no more. It's just not safe. And we have got, like I said, we have got domestics that are, they're, for some reason or another, they're on the uprise. And we're getting a lot of that. We've had some officers working by themselves. And me and myself, I spoke with Chief Benny, me and myself, it's just not, can't lay down at night and rest easy on that. So somebody has to fill in and take care of that, and that's the reason why sometimes the budget is probably coming out of whack. So, that's the issue that we got with the part-time. So there is one guy, one particular, there's a guy that, he's here right now, his name is Michael Timpenny. I spoke with Benny about it, and I think, Mayor, I spoke with you about it. I understand the budget might be a problem. I spoke with Post, the Post Division. He is not certified. Post says that as long as a officer has at least 180 hours of training, and they do their 40 hours in-service training every year, Post will recognize them to work with the department on a part-time basis, but they can't work no more than 20 hours a week until they obtain certification. Back some time, the department had a reserve program. And when Officer Timpenny was on the reserve program, we've counted it up, he had about 400 hours of training. He's supposed to have 180 hours. And I spoke with Benny about it. We would just like to actually get y'all's blessing to try to have him to help us out on a part-time basis.
I can't bless anything tonight unless somebody adds it to the agenda. This is not an agenda item, and
No.
you might want to put it on the study
Work
session.
study,
We've
yeah.
Yeah.
gone on quite a while with this, but what the council will, the council.
Yeah, we'll put it on for work study.
Work study.
If you or anyone could come to the work study.
Okay.
I wish you had a hold of me ahead of time so we could add it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But there is that's the actual activity report, and the department is doing the best that we possibly can for what we got.
Okay.
Appreciate your hard work.
Thank
I
you,
want
Mike.
to say one thing about the police department, and I think, I've been around here my whole life, and we've got right now, probably one of the best police departments we've ever had. I mean, I go to bed at night, I don't worry about nothing going on. I don't like one officer being by himself either. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Who made the motion?
Ricky made it. Pick one.
Everybody.
We're moving.
Pick one.
Okay, we're adjourned.